Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to the weekend. How are you, friend? I hope you are well. Thanks so much for clicking here. Look, it is the weekend as I drop these cards, but this reading is going to be for whenever it resonates for you. It might be today. Maybe it's not for some of you. I am reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs, which means in this general reading, this is not just a reading for Scorpio Sun. So if I talk about other signs and energies, you'll know why, because I'm also reading for all those other levels of energies I just explained. Scorpio, thanks so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Scorpio, I hope you will subscribe and I hope you'll hit the bell button because my uploads schedule has been crazy. There's so much construction going on around me right now that I'm just working when I can. So thanks so much for keeping track of me. And if you want to keep track of me, you'll have to subscribe to do that and then hit the bell button so you'll know when I'm uploading for you. Specifically your sign. So Scorpio, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about the extended and private reads. So stick around if you're interested in any of that. Tell me about Scorpio. Scorpio, we're talking about the rest of March, by the way. So we're going to do the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month. I know that we're already a few days in, but let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, we have the ship here. I feel like you're on your way to something here. It feels like you are really getting down to business. I'm going to say you're standing on business. You're really getting down to business and growing your roots somewhere. But I also feel that it's because you've overcome some sort of a battle or an obstacle. It's like, I feel like you are sailing over some sort of obstacle, letting go of something, and I feel like it is allowing you to plan for the future. I feel like the future was unclear for a little while here, but I feel like the future is clear. It feels like you now sort of know what you want, and I think you're going to work in that direction. I feel like there is something here that possibly is transforming or changing. So I'm going to say that maybe you had a straight path from A to B, or from A to Z, whatever it is, or Z if you're Canadian. I feel like you felt like you had a straight path, but I think that life has taken you on a bunch of different little detours. And I feel like it's transformed the way that you get to the outcome, but you're still going to get to the outcome. We've got the bottom right-hand corner. I'm always reading here. The Jack of Spades is the Knight of Swords, and that is sort of aggressive energy. I'm putting my ideas in place. I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to go for it. I feel like something here that used to be kind of cloudy, Seven of Cups in the bottom right-hand corner, something that was maybe an illusion or you thought would never happen, has now become clear, but only because you've ended something or you're willing to let something go. It might be an idea. We've got the Ten of Swords here, which is coming to a place where you've decided that I'm no longer putting up with disrespect. I'm no longer putting up with betrayals. I've decided to release it, let go of it. Ten of Swords is all of those things. You're letting go of an old cycle. And I think it's an old thought pattern also is what it feels like. But when we look at this ship, you can see that I always say that the ship to me is like rising above the bullshit. It feels like you are now sailing over these obstacles, and you've turned the obstacles from obstacles into achievements. It's like all of a sudden you've lifted yourself and you're heading toward something that I feel that you've been wanting for your future. I do feel that this could have something to do with family or something to do with children, because we do have a child here. 13 is the end of something, but also the beginning of something in its infancy. And then we have the 10 Pentacles on the Tree of Life. So it feels like here that you're solidifying something or making a decision with a clearer mindset, or you're just aggressively going after whatever it is that you've been wanting. Ooh, boy. And then we have the whip and the broom. And that is something that happens really quickly. So I'm going to say that this is sort of like the sneak attack that Scorpio does. It's slow. It's very complicated, high-level thinking. It's very strategic. It's like I've been thinking about doing this for a while, and nobody's going to see it coming. We've got the whip and the broom. You never hear a whip coming. You never hear it. And finally, when it gets to a place where it's close enough to you that you can hear it, that's when you know that the whip is present. But I feel like something here, it's like we've got the Jack of Wands here, and we've got card number 11. It feels like there's something here that you've wanted for a really long time, but you knew it was going to take a while for you to plan. feels like you didn't want to move forward right away, but it feels like you're probably going to accomplish it in the month of March. And it does feel like it's going to cause transformation or transition. You're going to have to let something go, which could be the solid plan you had in place. That's what I was saying at the beginning, right? It could be a solid plan. You thought, okay, well, I'm just going to get on the horse at A, and then I'm going to go all the way to the finish line, which is Z, and then or Z, and then I'm going to be at the goalpost. But I feel like the outcome continues to move because you continue to be sent on all these little side quests, is what it feels like here. Let's talk about tarot. Let's find out what else we can know about what is coming up for Scorpio for the rest of March. Tell me about Scorpio. I feel like there is some sort of an obstacle that was stopping you from laying your roots somewhere or planning your future. It could be a future child. It could be family. But it feels like something here has changed. And I'm going to say it changes quickly. And so it allows you to move forward on your plan and put it into solidify your plan quicker than you thought you would. Like maybe you plan to not get to the end of this, get to the finish line until the end of 2026. But I feel like you're probably going to have a significant, stable future plan by mid-month, it feels like here. So we have the Two of Pentacles, which is in the reverse. So something here was up in the air. It feels like something here was wobbling. You weren't sure about it. It was wobbling. I'm unsure, back and forth, back and forth. When am I going to do this? But it feels like something here that becomes stable. For me, a Two of Pentacles in the reverse is I'm definitely making the decision, and I'm making the decision now because it's a sound decision. And we've got the Ten of Cups here. It could be a decision about family, or just about simply about your joy, your happiness, or the happiness of your future, or the legacy that you plan to leave for your children. We've got the Hermit energy. It does feel like whatever it is that you are planning on accomplishing in the month of March, and I feel like you're ahead of schedule, I'm going to say, but I think it's because you've probably been in Hermit energy, which tells me that it's one of the side quests. I think that you picked the goal, but I feel like on the way to the goal, one of the side quests was you didn't expect to have to be in Hermit energy. You didn't expect to come face to face with yourself in the Hermit energy, where you then had to get in the dark, feel yourself, like feel around in the dark, figure out some things spiritually, figure out some things about myself, and then find my light. So I feel like there's something that you've been trying to accomplish for a while here, Scorpio. I feel like you will accomplish it in March, and I think it'll be a very happy occasion because something is about to solidify itself or make you feel more optimistic about the future, whereby before I feel like it was confusing or overwhelming, or maybe you thought this is just an illusion. Why am I even dealing with this? This is an illusion. It's never going to happen. I think never say never, because something here is going to bring about some type of decision. It feels like it's a path you're going down, or maybe it's between two people, two jobs, but we do have the Two of Wands here, and that's the planning process. Your planning is on point. I'm going to say your planning is on point. We got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, which tells me it's a very stable, planned out idea. Two of Pentacles is Capricorn, and that's very organized. It's organized thinking from January to December. So I feel like you're on your way ahead of schedule according to your plan, and now you've come to the place where you've got to make the decision. So now it's time to put action behind it. The Two of Wands is about putting something to plan. Now it's a solid plan, and it's a solid plan for the future, but it does feel like you are going to have to make a decision in the month of March. It might be about kids, it might be about family, but it might be just about the future. I feel like this whip and broom here is telling me that you're cleaning up space to make room to take some sort of a small risk. It's going to feel like the earth is wobbling just a little bit while you make this decision. It feels like it's unsure, but I'm going to say with the Hermit energy, it feels like you've gone over every detail, Scorpio. Don't doubt yourself. You know what you know. Yep, the Lovers is here. This is a complete choice, and that's the part that bothers you. This is a choice. It's not something you have to do. It's something that you want to do. We could be talking about a relationship, okay? We could be talking about a relationship. We could be talking about taking the relationship to the next level. Ten of Cups is here with this, with card number 13, which is the child, and the Jack of Spades is here. And so the Knight of the Knight of Swords is here. It's aggressive energy. Now you're going aggressively. At the end of the month, it's like you're making the decision probably by the end of the month, but I feel like you have all the analytics by then. It feels like mid-month, you start to feel very optimistic that this choice that you're making is actually the right choice. I feel like the Ten of Cups here with the Lovers tells me this could be a choice about maybe getting together with someone, maybe going to the next level of a relationship, because the Lovers is here with the Ten of Cups, solidifying something that is going to build a strong foundation and grow some roots. It could be something that you want to solidify with somebody. We could be talking about a job just as easily, right? We could be talking about your finances. You might be making a big investment financially, but for some of you, this is a relationship investment. Tell me more. And you need to decide what your lens is, right? You need to figure out what your lens is. What is this reading about for you? That's why a general reading is a general reading. We've got the Ten of Swords, or sorry, not the 10, but the King of Swords, which is very interesting because I feel like the reason this has been taking so long for you to make the decision is because you are intellectualizing everything. You could be someone who has an Aquarius placement, possibly in the moon or the rising, or maybe you're an Aquarius sun looking in on Scorpio as being your moon, rising, Venus, or Jupiter sign. I feel like the King of Swords, though, is representing a bossed up energy, but also somebody who has wisdom and knowledge. And I feel like the wisdom and knowledge to make the right choice, because you have enough analytics to make this decision, it tells me that you're right on point, you're ahead of schedule, and I feel like whatever it is that you've decided on is something that is going to work out in your favor, because I feel like ultimately you have the last word. You're the person who has the last word. Either you sign the documents or you don't. Tell me why the Two of Pentacles is here. We've got the King of Wands. So I feel like once this is solidified, once I'm really sure about it and I'm very organized and realize where I am in the process, it feels like the King of Wands shows up, and that's the wisdom to know the controlled burn. That I'm not going to burn out at the very beginning. I'm going to pace myself so I can do the marathon and not the sprint. So the King of Wands has learned how to reserve their energy, or I know that thing is mine already. It's like a manifestation, the wisdom of manifestation. We've got the Strength card. So you're playing it very strategic, Scorpio. What am I talking about? Tell me what I'm talking about, because the Strength card is here. It's like, first I'm going to gather the courage to do it. I have the wisdom to know to hold back, to not set the whole place on fire just because I want to burn the one spider in the corner. I feel like the Two of Pentacles in the reverse is telling me I'm on point. I got the plan, but I'm going to hold back anyway. Even though I've gotten over the worst of all of the obstacles, and now I can let go or release myself from any worries that it might not work. Temperance is here. You're listening. I love that. Scorpio, you always amaze me. The Scorpio energy is amazing to me. And because, Scorpio, even when you think you're not listening, you're listening. You're not driving. You're actually shotgun here. You're in the side seat or in the back seat, and you're like just making sure that the person is taking the right road and making the right turns. I feel like your ear is toward the sky or toward your deity or toward whatever plan you've got going on, and you're waiting for a moment of alchemy. You're waiting until it feels right before you do it. So please don't discount your intuition, because your intuition is going to be the thing that wins you, whatever this is, whether it's someone else's heart, whether this is the contract or the tender or the job. It feels like something here is about to switch up or change, and it is something that is transforming. So it's not brand new, but it's something that is transforming. You're transforming something into making it work for you in the future here. Tell me about the Hermit. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. So you're not telling anybody about the investment or about whatever it is that you're about to put all of your time, effort, or energy into. I feel like it's the wisdom to keep it quiet and to keep the plan to myself. I feel the Ace of Pentacles here tells me that you are about to make an investment, and that the investment could be with your heart. The investment could be a job. It could be, it definitely is an investment to your future happiness and the way that you see your future life as being stable and being being abundant and continuing to grow either financially, energetically, time, effort, energy, money, your health possibly. It feels like you are making some sort of an investment. We've got the Knight of Cups here. It could definitely be a romantic investment, an emotional investment. We have the Ten of Swords here, which is very interesting because we started with the Ten of Swords, right? So the Ten of Swords is here, and I feel like that in order for this to all work out the way that you have planned it, strategically planned it, I feel like you had to stop. You had to release the thought of falling in love with potential. You had to, Capricorn, really look at the details. Really look at the details. Get very clear, Gemini energy, about what's going on. I had to look at the contract and make sure that everything is in place. I'm going to say that if you are signing a contract in the month of March, because we are in retrograde at this time, and retrograde in Pisces, right? We've got Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which means it's making it harder to make decisions because we want to make them with our heart instead of intellectually. But the Ten of Swords with the Knight of Cups I like because it's giving me this energy of I've got to release the potential, what it looks like as potential, and go with the Pentacles, the practical, pragmatic, move really slow, look at all the details, make sure I have enough information to make the right decision. Very interesting. Tell me why the King of Swords is showing up here. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. It feels like this is either a big money deal or this is something with permanence. I'm going to say that there's 10 Pentacles on that tree of life. And then we have the 10 Pentacles here. This is something, and I've said this before, Scorpio, you're a fixed sign. And what I know of Scorpio energy, what I love about it is when I'm in, I'm all the way in. So you know that Scorpio doesn't make fleeting decisions. I mean, unless maybe you have some crazy fire in the rising in the moon. Maybe you're making fleeting decisions, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody here who's more like swords and Scorpio energy, strategic, analytical. I'm not going to get my feelings involved. I'm going to keep my feelings under the surface while I decide intellectually about what I'm going to do. Look at that. We've got the World here. I think that's why you're being so strategic about this, because you know that an old chapter of who you are has to die. Something here, got card number 13, that's death, right? But also in the midst of death is a rebirth, right? So it feels like somebody here knows that something has to come to an end. So an old contract has to end in order for the new contract to take place. And I feel like this could be a job or something financial or maybe about your health. It could be a relationship because the Lovers is here, but it's definitely a choice. And I feel like you are going all in or investing in something that is going to be very healing. But it's going to require closing an old door and never going back there. Never. So I feel like you are being very strategic and slow until which point you decide I'm going to execute the plan and I need to do it right now. And I think that's why the whip and the broom are here. Yep. It feels like you are building you've slowly been working on the bridge that is going to bridge the gap between where you are and where you need to be or where you want to be. And it feels like that's going to happen in the month of March. Look, we're going to talk more about this because there could be some pitfalls, right? We have the moon here. Things are not as they seem. And it could mean that things are not as they seem as other people look from the outside looking in. Maybe you're just doing the whole Scorpio thing and you're keeping everything under the surface, stoic on the surface, keeping everything under the surface and not really showing people the decision planning and making decisions that you're making underneath the surface, but things are not as they seem. We will talk about that. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. This does feel like it's something that has to do with a big purchase, a big move. The Queen of Pentacles is home, health, hearth, health, right? It's all of that stuff. We're going to talk about that in the extended. Look, if you want to come into the extended and watch me talk more about this, we pull it all apart. Please go to the pinned comment. There's a comment that is above all the comments, and click on read more in that comment, and you will see a link for the membership area. You will get 4 extendeds each month if you join the membership area. That's if you're watching for one sign. If you decide that you would like to come to the membership area, you will also get readings that are only for the membership. And if you're interested in a private read, look, I do pre-recorded readings, I do live readings, and the pre-recorded readings, you can click the link to Hypsee and take a look at all my pricing and all my packages. If you need an answer, I have a very quick package as well. Starts at $25, goes up from there. And if you need, want to talk to me face-to-face or over the phone, then please look at my schedule and pre-book your appointment, and anywhere between 5 and 75% off of those calls. If you're interested in that, I'm going to go to the extended. Thank you, Scorpio, for being here and watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the extended. And if I don't, well, I'll be back, because I'm always back. Take care. Bye-bye.